Thank you for coming to the Trinity stand. We've just been requested by Anna as to what to talk about. She was mentioning a conference that you recently went to. What was that about?
It was our Green Farm Collective conference, and my vibe this year, I really wanted to get across. We called it Soil to Slice. And I wanted to follow.
Say that again, Soil to Slice.
Soil to Slice.
That's lovely, isn't it?
It is lovely, and it's all about making that connection with soil.
Sorry, I'm just going to enjoy that so much. Rather than farm to fork, soil to slice. That's
Soil to Slice.
Cool, wow.
Because it all starts with soil. All our soils all around the world are lacking carbon. We've burnt all our carbon out with overuse of fertiliser and overuse of tillage. So it's so important to understand how important it is to have a working soil.
Yeah.
Once you have a working soil, a plant interacts with fungi, interacts with biology, and it will get the nutrition it needs to grow to perfect performance.
Yeah.
When we start to put a lot of synthetics on, we interfere with the rhizophagia cycle. So once we start to do that, the plant then, if it's got plenty of phosphorus, it's not going to feed biology in order for the biology to release phosphorus. And then once we've lost that connection with biology, we're not getting the zinc and the iron that we want. And so our food that we're eating grown from that soil has not got the nutritional density that we require in our bodies. So by having a working soil, we could then follow the whole chain, which is why we called it Soil to Slice. Follow the whole chain then with our flour rise, follow the whole chain of how our food is produced, where it's come from, but more importantly, how nutrient packed that food should be because it's been grown from a working soil. And then the other beauty of that is we're growing it in a different way. We're not using the input, so our carbon footprint is coming down. And that's where Trinity and Sandy comes into it. Because we can start and monitor the production system we're using. We can start and monitor how much carbon we're sequestering back into the plant. We can monitor the amount of carbon that's being burnt off to produce that crop. And the more we get our soil working, the less reliant we are on those synthetic inputs. So the carbon footprint of production is coming down, which is so important for the scope 3 emissions of people that are then buying our wheat, buying our flour. So the whole process, the whole footprint is just getting lower and lower, which is what it's all about. And there is no planet B, this is it. So we've all got to start being responsible. One, for the way our food is produced, but also the type of food we're eating. Our bodies are so important, it's crying out for nutrition. But we're not getting that nutrition because we haven't got enough working soil anymore. And that's where it's all going wrong. We're all getting sick, everyone's getting cancer, heart disease. Probably I could go on and on with the list, but it all comes back to the food that we're eating and the way it's produced. And we've all got to be responsible. Cheap food has come with massive consequences. And we've got away with it, but we're not going to keep getting away with it. Everybody on the planet has got to be responsible for the way the food is produced. They've got to demand food produced in a different way. It's all got to be done with a low carbon footprint. We cannot keep polluting the planet. We've got to be responsible. The amount of dead zones we've got in our oceans, they're getting bigger and bigger. 70 to 90% of air that we breathe comes from the marine photosynthesis. And we're just going to wait till we're all starting to struggle to breathe. We've got to act now. The clock is ticking. And that's why it's so important working with Trinity that we can verify what we're doing, we can prove what we're doing. People invest in us have the confidence then to know what they're getting is what is on the tin. There's no ifs or buts. This is it. And that is the important one. And I think that the natural capital on farm is going to become more and more valuable. Again, we need to be able to verify it, we need to be able to show it, because people need to be able to invest in that. They need to be able to see what they're investing in is actually there.
And it's not just an investment. There'll be scaremongers out there. Let's not talk about anyone from a big country west of here who's not in agreement with any of this wrongly. But it's being able to show actual proof by using the likes of the Trinity products that these are the positive changes that can be made, or to tweak the system so that you learn from any mistakes. But it's that data. Data is king.
Data is so valuable. It's king, because it's all right me saying, oh, we're doing this and we're doing that. Unless I can prove it, it's just pie in the sky. And I think that's what's destroyed the carbon market early on. There was so many cowboys out there. It was the Wild West, and we've had to sit back and just let all that hostility go on and let them make fools of themselves. Where now, coming in with Sandy, we've got the data, we've got the backup, and we can prove everything we're doing is exactly what we're doing. And what my real ambition is, I want to be able to blockchain the whole process from farm to the food, that we can almost say to you, I know what I'm eating, I know how it's been produced, and I know which farm it's come from, and ideally I even know which field it's been grown on. And that's bang, 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 bang. We've got all that data. People have got confidence of what they're eating is exactly what they should be eating. And I always use the analogy, if you've got 2 plates of sandwiches and there was one with all the synthetic chemicals, all the active ingredients, all the fertilisers, all the insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and then you've got my potato sandwiches where I've grown it more with natural biology and natural nutrition. I don't know which potato sandwiches people would be heading for. Do you really want to eat something that you're not prepared to drink?
Well done. And there's this very interesting timeline between the Groundswell events and the progress of this. You remember when Groundswell was first embryonic and everyone thought this is a bit of a weird event, and now it's mainstream. And the number of politicians that are here today is indicative of how seriously this has all been taken. And if you mirror that with what you've just stated, and with the products of Trinity, it seems like there's a direction. There's a positive direction of travel here.
Absolutely. And you know, the only Groundswell I missed was when I was in hospital, which I couldn't help missing it that year, but I haven't missed one at all from the start. And it's beautiful to see how it's grown and how they're starting to make connections between the food, and you get a lot of people coming now that are interested in food, they're not farmers. But it's so important to spread that knowledge and share that knowledge, because knowledge...
I'm going to go for it. Societal change.
Societal change.
It's what the Green Farm Collective, what Groundswell are doing, either in union or independently, but everyone is creating that societal change, which is, for all the reasons you stated, we need to create.
It's really good that you know we are getting noticed. Politicians are coming, but I firmly believe that the real big change we need is going to come from the people. It's not going to come from government. Government policy will adapt to what the people do, and that's what we've got to get across by sharing this knowledge, making people understand it, not letting any greenwashing go on. And there's a lot of greenwashing going on, people trying to jump, and that's where with Trinity, Green Farm Collective, we've got to be fully transparent and say, look, quiz us as much as you want, look at what we're doing. We are fully transparent. We want everybody to be absolutely safe and sure when you're investing in us, you are getting exactly what it says on the tin. You've got full confidence to quote us, use the data, you know, and work with us. And together we're going to make something special, and we're going to improve this planet and restore its health, but restore the population's health along the way. And the two go hand in hand in my mind.
Totally.
If you haven't got that healthy soil, you haven't got healthy food, you haven't got healthy food. We're starting to reverse that. That's just amazing.
And just to wrap up, collaboration. You collaborate so heavily with the likes of Trinity. Who else would you like to collaborate with? If there's people dialed in here thinking this is very interesting, we should get. Who else would you like to put that house and call out to accelerate this societal change that you're looking to create?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are people out there who get in touch with us. You know, if there's something you feel you could offer. But it's got to be that full transparency. It makes me so angry when you see people doing stuff and claiming to be in our league and doing what we're doing, and quite clearly they're not. And it really annoys me when people are trying to monetise and cash in on that. And that will just confuse the public, confuse the consumer, confuse people wanting to invest in things like this and support it. And then it'll just turn out, you know, they're doing a little bit and they're not reaching the objectives that we're trying to get. Because my objective, I want every farmer in the world to change the way they're farming and farm in this regenerative manner. And unless you're regenerating or something getting it working, you're not regenerative farmer in my mind. And then I want consumers to come on board and just be part of the journey, because they've got the power and they've got the right to know what they're eating. And a lot of the processed food, it's an insult to call it food.
Well said.
Not food. You know, if you're looking at the label, you've picked the wrong bloody product up. You should be picking whole foods up. You should be able to make that connection with the farm that you're buying off and how it's been produced, and have the confidence to say when you're having a dinner party, my food's been produced here. Bang. And the taste in that food is just astronomical. The difference.
Tim, you're fantastic. Thank you very much for that. I've really enjoyed that. I think this is going to be time locked. Your statements of intent and creating that societal change. Right, shall we go off and find some politicians?
Yes, 100%.
Right, let's go.
Let's get the movement.